We can also expand brackets that contain surds. Now, before I look at these questions here, there's some rules that I want to review about surds, which are important and they can help us to work out these questions. So one of the things that we need to remember is, if I have square root of a multiplied by square root of a, that is a. If we have square root of a multiplied by square root of b, that is the square root of a b. If we have the square root of if we have a multiplied by square root of b, that can just be written as a root b. And if we have square root of a plus square root of a, that can be written as 2 square root, because these are two lots of a, and because you're adding, you just put them together to end up with that. So I'm going to use these rules in the next questions. So it's better that we are familiar with this. So I'll start to look through these questions. So I'm going to expand the first question. Now, when you expand brackets, all you have to do is to multiply each of the numbers outside the bracket by each of these guys inside the bracket. So I'll end up with square root of 2 multiplied by 3 plus square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 5, which will be equal to. Now, here in the first part of this question here, we'll end up with the square root of, we'll end up with 3 root 2, and then in the second part we'll end up with the square root of 2 multiplied by 5. So, which here I have square root of 2, and here I have square root of 10. So remember, the first thing is multiply whatever you have outside the bracket by each of the terms that you have inside the bracket, and then you just put them together like that. Next one, I'll do the same thing. So what I'll end up is 4 multiplied by the square root of 5 plus minus 4 multiplied by 3, which will give me 4 root 5 minus 12. Now here, to expand the following, I'm going to use this method here called FOIL. If you remember, first, last, inners, and outers. And I'll show you how to go about that in this example. So in A, we start by foiling. So we'll multiply this term by that term, this term and that term, this one and this one and this one and that. So if I can just go, this will be my first step, second step, third step, and fourth step. So let's start with the first step, 2 multiplied by 1 plus second step, root 3 multiplied by root 3 plus fourth, third step, root 3 multiplied by 1, and then fourth step, 2 multiplied by root 3. So what I'll end up with here is 2 multiplied by 1 is just 2. Now remember what I said, if you have square root of a multiplied by the square root of a, you just get a. So square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 3 will be 3. So what I'll end up with here is plus 3, and then plus root 3 multiplied by 1 is just root 3. And then the last one, 2 multiplied by root 3 will just be 2 root 3. This is 3 here. So what I'll end up with here is 5 plus. Now, here what I have here is root 3 plus 2 lots of root 3. Now, if I put them together, I'll have 3 lots of root 3, because I have 1 root 3 plus 2 lots of root 3, so that will be 5 root 3. And that will be your answer. Okay, in the next example, which is B, so in B, what we have is, we'll start by multiplying out these brackets. So that will be my first step, second step, third step, and fourth step. The first step, I'll have 5 multiplied by 5. In the second step, I have negative root 2 multiplied by root 2. In my third step, I have negative root 2 multiplied by 5. And in the fourth step, I have 5 multiplied by root 2. Okay, so the next step is just simplifying these things. So 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. Now here I have square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 2, which will give us 2. But because you have a negative, we'll have negative 2. The next one, I have a negative, so that's negative 5 multiplied by root 2 is just 5 root 2. And in the last step, I have 5 root 2 as well. So if I simplify my answer, 25 minus 2, that will be 23. Now, here I have 5 root 2 and negative 5 root 2. Both of these will cancel to give me 0. So I'll just have 23 as my final answer.